of the things we're facing in this country right now is the need for new attention to the teaching of writing. If we look at test scores over the past dozen years or so, we can see that students are not performing at the level that they should be. Most of them are writing at what we would call below grade level. If we look at national statistics, we see that businesses are spending much too much money on training employees who don't know how to write effectively. And now we're looking at the new Common Core standards, which are tied to the Race to the Top funds and which have been adopted in virtually every state in this country. And those Common Core standards are setting the bar higher for writing achievement of students at all levels. So for all these reasons, it's time to think again about how we can teach writing effectively. The book that we're talking about is one that doesn't look at writing instruction in terms of a single individual teacher, but it's really looking at integrating a writing program in a whole school. Taking initiative on writing is the thing that we really need to pay attention to.
One of the things that this book offers is the invitation to start thinking about writing as something that can happen across the school, and in fact something that has to happen across the school if students are going to get the support that they need. The book asks content area teachers to be thinking about how they can work together to build toward the school goals, but it also asks that the rest of the school community be involved.
One strength of the book is that it shows the process of putting together a writing program. So it gives suggestions all the way through. I think sometimes teachers can feel like they're initially supported, but then the initiative kind of dies out, or a new issue comes up and the school focuses on that, whereas this book I think really helps teachers and leaders follow from step one all the way through how to revise the program, every year, and how to make changes.
It's important to make sure that you're providing instructional resources that will help make the writing initiative a reality, including scheduling, allocating space, those kinds of real structural issues. I think we offer some real ways to make that work beyond just a sort of isolated professional development session.
My own background includes a number of years teaching both at middle school and secondary school levels as an English teacher and of course as a teacher of writing. I've also been a director of a national writing project site, and I've spent much of my career in the university working with prospective teachers, and it's from all of those vantage points. Plus, of course, I've done a lot of writing and research and publishing in this area, but it's from all those vantage points as a teacher of teachers, as somebody who has worked in the field of composition and rhetoric or writing most of my career, that has led me to think about the issues that are presented in this book.
So I taught middle school in New York City at a public school, and taught a range of subjects, but primarily humanities, which I think gave a really interesting perspective on thinking about how you teach writing in a range of content areas.
And I worked in Chicago Public Schools, where I became very interested in both reading and writing in conjunction with each other. I was involved with different reading initiatives and really realized how much writing came into play across the different subject areas.
Prior to coming to graduate school at the University of Michigan, I was a high school English teacher for 5 years.
The book offers a number of practical approaches. So one is simply presenting some best practices in the teaching of writing, and in particular the teaching of writing across the content areas that are not full of jargon and are understandable to people who are not necessarily experts. At the same time, it also offers some ways to think about how to get your school community to work together.
What we really tried to do is, because the authors, we had come from a variety of different teaching backgrounds, worked in a variety of different schools, even myself having worked in a variety of schools, we realized how important it was to offer people really tangible ways to develop a writing initiative without just throwing a lockstep program at them. Because we realize often people don't know what the resources are in terms of teaching writing, especially when it's not just seen as teaching writing in English class. We're talking about a whole school kind of initiative.
One thing that the book does is try to show the value of writing for learning purposes across the content areas. So what we don't want to do is add another task for teachers, something that might not be connected to what they're already doing. The book really tries to integrate writing into the content that teachers are already teaching and the activities that teachers and students are already doing to show that writing can improve learning, for example. And so in that way, the book helps position teachers across the content areas to see writing as valuable for teaching their subject matter. I think that the book offers leaders really explicit ways of supporting their teachers.
The book has, in every chapter, multiple online resources that range from downloadable, reproducible materials that can be handed out and used, to surveys, to video clips, to a chat room, to links to a variety of resources.
You'll find a table with a list of best practices, short definitions, and a set of examples about how those best practices could be implemented in each content area. Or you'll find in the online materials downloadable professional development activity where groups of teachers will look at a 2-page pre-prepared handout based on solid research and best practices of writing instruction.
I know, I've gotten lots of professional development books, and sometimes you oh, that's a great idea, but it goes back on the shelf. And I think with the online resources, not only will it provide an opportunity for instructional leaders to possibly communicate and meet up with other instructional leaders through some online forums, but it will also just provide a quick and easy way to actually implement some of the strategies talked about.